Hey everybody, it's Derek here. We're going to take a look at the news from the 28th through the 5th of December 2021. So, may not be any surprise, but more Activision shit. I'm wondering if I should just have an Activision section on these things, but I guess we'll keep going. So, US government officials pressuring Activision Blizzard are now threatening the company's profits. So, news this week that state treasurers from 6 states, so California, Massachusetts, Illinois, Oregon, Delaware, and Nevada. I think I know where 2 of those are. I have no idea where the rest of them are placed. Anyway, are calling on Activision Blizzard to take serious measures in addressing ongoing high-profile investigations and lawsuits about the company's troubling culture. So they're pressuring them to take measures addressing the investigations. Not what caused the investigations. No, address the investigations themselves, because it's costing money. Treasurers have asked to meet with the board members, threatening action against the company if it does not comply. Now, why are state treasurers weighing in on this? Why would they care about the company's stock prices? Well, the thing is, state treasurers do tend to invest in other companies in order to try to improve generally the pensions of public servants. So, you have a pension from your job as a civil servant or a public works servant, whatever way, public worker, whatever it's called in your country. It's a civil servant where I'm from. And your pension will be tied to, various investments. And usually they're meant to be things that are pretty guaranteed to be stable. They might go up, but chances are they're not going to fluctuate massively. So they would have been looking at things like company investments and things like that, because they're typically stable-ish. But not in the case of Activision Blizzard recently, because their stock price has fucking plummeted with all of these investigations and shit. So they're like, hey, my pension is at risk, so if you could mind, stop fucking about and actually do something about this. So yeah, they're really only concerned because the money is going down, and they would rather the money went up. And obviously they're state treasurers, so that's pretty much all they care about, finances and stuff. The money, that's their job. That's why they're called the treasurer anyway. We're concerned that the current CEO and board directors don't have the skill set nor the conviction to institute these sweeping changes needed to transform their culture, to restore trust with employees and shareholders and their partners. Not patterns. I don't think they have patterns. Partners. That's from the Illinois State Treasurer. One thing the treasurers bring is also a bit of a spotlight here and a little public pressure as well. So they're sort of kind of trying to say that, yeah, we're definitely here for the public as well. Or not for the public. We're definitely here for employees and to help them out and whatever. But no, they're not. They're here because money go down. Make money go up, please. This is talking about some things like their $18 million settlement that is a penny, more or less, for each person. Well, no, that's not true, but you know what I mean. It's very little money compared to what they should be paying for something like this. But if you're continuing a culture that creates new victims in the future, you are creating more risk for your company. So just paying it off one time and thinking that's it's not really going to work, because you're not doing anything to address the issue, which means you're just going to have more victims down the line, which means you're going to have more payouts and so on and so forth. So yeah, a bit of pressure coming again from other parts of the US government. So it's not just the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, now state treasurers from different states who have, I guess, investments within Activision Blizzard and are shareholders in the company, and therefore can exert a certain amount of pressure. And since they're a public body, it's a bit more blatant and a bit more obvious when they do it. So yes, they're only really concerned because money number go down and want money number go up, but any kind of pressure is kind of welcome in this situation, I would think. Continuing with Activision lays off a third of Raven Software's QA team. Nice. So, fuck's sake. So yeah, Activision has laid off a third of the QA team from Raven Software so far. There may be more coming. They've sent out a meeting with QA contractors that they'll be meeting them between December 3rd and 8th. So that's Friday. Fuck, you fired someone on a Friday. That's what they tell you to do, but still, it's so shitty that they actually went through with it. But all the way up to the 8th, so they're not done. They're not done with their meetings. There could be more firings on the way. It's here staff will be told if they've been promoted or if they've been made redundant. Like, wow, that's a fucking coin flip you've got going in there. So it seems a third of the team has been laid off, although meetings are continuing, so there may be more down the line. Promoted staff are reportedly moving on to full-time roles where they will make $18 or £14 an hour, an hourly rate, or terminated at the end of January. Like, wow, okay. QA at Raven were promised for months that Activision was working towards a pay restructure to increase their wages. Now, valuable members of the team were called into meetings and told they were being let go. There's some transparency problems here, I guess. Not everyone... Well, I mean, some of them are getting their pay restructured. I mean, let's put it this way. Everybody is getting their pay restructured. And some of them, it's being restructured to zero. These people were asked to relocate to Madison to work here. Now they are out of a job. So, like, you've had them relocate, like, upend their lives, find new accommodation, all that stuff. And now, fuck you. Over Christmas, right before Christmas. Get fucked. The layoffs come just days after Activision reported $2 billion in revenue during its last fiscal quarter. So the idea that they can't pay it is bullshit. But there you go. That's Activision for you. All the money for Bobby, none of the money for anybody else. Activision will not be part of the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley says. So this is a Twitter thread that Jeff Keighley sent out this week where he was, well, earlier he was kind of like, yes, I am on the side of the employees and such, but I also want to highlight their games because they worked on them and they should get the, you know, the celebration and the gravitas that comes with that. And there was a bit of pushback from that in that developer saying that really doesn't help. You need to, like, stick it to Activision more or less. So they changed it now. So it's beyond its nominations. I can confirm that Activision Blizzard will not be part of this year's Game Awards. So the games, the nomination categories that it's already been entered in, whatever, Call of Duty, what else did they put out? They'll stay there, but they won't be highlighted. They won't be showing trailers for their games and such and such. There is no place for abuse, harassment, or predatory practices in any company or any community, so says the Doritos Pope. And the rest of it just goes on to highlight pretty much what I would think viewers of this video series already know about Activision and its whole lawsuits and protecting Bobby and the board of directors being behind him for some fucking reason that nobody understands. And then also not particularly great news, but Activision Blizzard protest organizer now leaving company. So Jessica Gonzalez, who was pretty behind the A Better ABK union push, is leaving the company and quitting game development. She highlights pretty much Bobby, inaction and refusal to take accountability. You had years to fix the culture and look where the company currently stands. So yeah, she does not believe Bobby will change anything, and the fact that the board are behind him means the company itself is not going to change anytime soon. So she's going, well, fuck this shit. I'm putting my well-being first, which we have also heard from Jen O'Neill, former Blizzard co-president, co-chair, co-leader, something. Said much the same thing. Don't think anything's really going to change, so I'm out. I mean, like, yes, they should definitely put their well-being first, but they're also a pretty prominent voice for the union stuff, so they have to do what's best for them. That's really the only way to look at it, but it would have been nice if they did. Anyway, you can't expect this kind of martyrdom from them. Okay, well, it is start of a new month, which means it is time for new games coming to the monthly services for Xbox and PlayStation. So Xbox first up has games with gold, so they'll be getting The Escapists 2, which is a sort of team management kind of sim-like thing where you have a group of prisoners, more or less, have their own different skill sets and stuff, and you need to sort of help them escape the prison. I think it might be that you need to keep them in the prison. I don't know, never played it, but it's that kind of thing. Tropico 5 is a city builder, so think SimCity, more or less, or City Skyline, if you're not as old as I am, but it's that kind of thing. It's a city builder, country builder kind of thing. Orcs Must Die is a horde mode tower defense thing, where you are a single character like kind of running around a map, but you're setting up traps and trying to like funnel orcs into like kill zones, more or less, you know, and that kind of thing. So trying to stave off hordes of orcs, setting up your traps, setting up your tower defenses, and then also weighing into combat yourself. An insanely twisted Shadow Planet, I believe, is a shmup. It's a side-scrolling bullet hell thing. So there's some interesting ones there. Most of them are pretty critically well received. Tropico, I think, is running on fumes, the series. Though, to be fair, I've never played either of them, or any of them. So who knows? And Orcs Must Die, I think the original Orcs Must Die, which is what you're getting with Games with Gold, was okay. Orcs Must Die 2 was considerably better. And I believe they're now working on an Orcs Must Die 3. So they've got their thing and they're working on it. And again, The Escapist, I actually don't know if you're trying to escape or prevent them from escaping. I don't know which one it is. And then over on PlayStation, we'll be getting, if you are subscribing to PlayStation Plus, you'll be getting Godfall Challenger Edition. More on that in a second. Lego DC Supervillains and Mortal Shell. So we'll start with Lego DC, which is a Lego game. I think you kind of have an idea of how these work now, but you'll be playing primarily the DC supervillains, so Joker, Darkseid, Bad, Flash, whatever else they have, whoever Wonder Woman's villain is, and so on. Mortal Shell is a Souls-like game. It's like a very punishing melee combat thing that has its own kind of identity. It focuses a lot more on parrying. It focuses a lot more on builds, but your build is very easily changeable and things like that. And it's also considerably shorter than Dark Souls. So this is a game that kind of wants you to get good at it and then, you know, get good, but then also it doesn't take up too much of your time. Kind of, you could finish in about 20 hours maybe. And then Godfall Challenger Edition. So Godfall is a slasher type game, a looter slasher as they call it, which I hate. Just call it a looter. Because the original loot game, it was already a looter slasher anyway, Diablo. So anyway, Challenger Edition is not the full title, and has by a lot of people been described somewhat derogatively as a demo of the game. It is a stripped down version of Godfall that is only the kind of multiplayer options, co-op stuff. It's like endgame things, but you can't make your own build. You're given a pre-built character and you kind of just wade in, collect loot, and so on. It is upgradable to the full game if you want, but the people have been kind of pointing out that, like, what is a demo doing on PlayStation Plus? And it's somewhat exasperated from news that Japanese territories are getting different things to the rest of us, or Asian territories rather, not just Japanese. So Japan are getting Godfall Challenger Edition, Lego DC Sexy Brutale instead of Mortal Shell, which is an interesting choice, but okay. Sexy Brutale is a good game. It is a kind of murder mystery Groundhog Day thing, where you keep rolling back time to try to prevent murders from happening. And Judgment, or Judge Eyes as it's called in Japan, which is a kind of huge Yakuza game, and it's really, really good. So having that thrown into PlayStation Plus and it only being in Japan is kind of weird. It's also, I don't get why they didn't go with Mortal Shell. Maybe it's just not a good fit for the Japanese market, possibly. It is, yeah, I guess it's a fairly obtuse and I guess kind of Western type take. I don't know. And then Asian territories, except India, for some reason, are getting the same games but not Sexy Brutale. So they get Mortal Shell. So weird. It's like specifically Japan don't get Mortal Shell, which is weird. I don't get that one. That one doesn't make sense to me, but okay. It's just kind of exasperated in that the Asian territories are getting another game, and it's a really good game, and like that would help with the whole Godfall Challenger Edition thing. Why does this image blow up and this one doesn't? Oh, that's a web link. That's why this isn't a web link. It's a picture. Okay, anyway. Never mind the weirdness of Chrome. Okay, new releases this week. So first we're going to take a look at a game called Chorus, which... Why did you do this to me, YouTube? Why couldn't you just stay on the thing? No. This button. Fuck's sake. Okay, so Chorus... something I actually hadn't known about. I only saw like a couple of trailers of it coming in. It was like coming soon or coming this week. I was like, This game looks good. How come I hadn't heard of it? So it's a starfighter space shooter type thing, a genre of game I haven't played, I think, since PS1, maybe. I think I played Colony. Is it even called Colony? I don't even remember. It's a space shooter type thing. So it's been a long while. This game looks really pretty. How well it actually plays, debatable. You're in a sentient ship, apparently is what it's called, so I think it does some things itself, or maybe that's just a plot point to gloss over why you are so much better than the AI in the game, but who knows. Anyway, it looks pretty fun, looks very pretty, probably looks really nice in 4K, HDR and so on. My questioning is probably around the characterization and the main character model themselves, because let's say I have... way to put this. I don't really like seeing game protagonists with short hair or buzz cuts because it just reminds me of the PS3 360 era of games where they couldn't do hair properly, so they just didn't. And they gave women like either pixie cuts or ponytails because they were really easy to model, and all the guys had buzz cuts or really short hair. That's the only way. Like, nobody ever had long hair until Lara Croft Tomb Raider, where they got the Tress Effects engine running. Sorry, I should have kept playing that video. And then, hey, we can do hair again. Awesome. So I'm wondering why they decided not to with this, but it kind of makes sense. Like, look at that guy's hair. That's not great. But I would say it makes sense for this particular game because they're focused on space fighter stuff. You know, that's where they put all of their energy and their budget and their development stuff towards making that look nice. So, like, it's fine, but it still hits me with that. Why didn't they give the character hair? What's going on with that? Anyway, that's Chorus, and then Solar Ash. This is a game I've been looking forward to for a while. So this is play the video from the end. That's an interesting one, YouTube. Okay. Anyway, I'll play that again. Solar Ash looks like a bit of a cross between The Pathless, which I've shown on the channel before. It's like a fairly wide open map, very fast-paced traversal. Like, it's fairly kinetic in that you change from different traversal modes as you're moving. So Solar Ash has a bit of that, and then it also has a bit of Shadow of the Colossus, in that you're dealing with really large boss type creatures that you need to climb all over and attack like weak points and stuff like that. So it's got some really nice traversal stuff, and it's got some like interesting like boss platform puzzles in a way that's kind of what Shadow of the Colossus ended up being. And then it's also by Heart Machine, who are the people behind Hyper Light Drifter, which is an excellent game that I am fucking shit at. I really wish I was a lot better at it, but I'm not. But that game was very slick, very fun, until I got extremely frustrated with how bad I was at it. But this seems like it will be not anywhere near as difficult and maybe a little bit more fun to play around in. Anyway, that's Solar Ash, also out this week. Then we have Beyond the Steel Sky is getting a console release this week or next week. I don't know. The release dates are kind of weird. It's on the store for me. Maybe it's certain territories aren't getting it until next week or something like that. But anyway, Beyond the Steel Sky is a sequel / spiritual successor to the original Beneath a Steel Sky, which was one of the earliest point-and-click adventure games, which is a genre that I don't think younger viewers have probably any experience with. Maybe you saw your dad playing it or something. I don't know. But you'd be going all the way back to games like Broken Sword. It's the same developer, Revolution, making Beyond and Beneath a Steel Sky. And you've got like the Sierra titles like Siberia, and then you've got like LucasArts' Monkey Island series and Day of the Tentacle and that kind of thing. So point-and-click adventures have disappeared, basically. You don't really see them all that much anymore. They've kind of been replaced by things like the Sherlock Holmes games, like 3D sort of adventure titles, like that kind of thing. You don't really see the point and clicks anymore, mostly because consoles don't really click. They don't really have a point and click thing. Anyway, from the small amount I've seen of this, it looks like a really good successor to Beneath the Steel Sky, so I'd be curious to check this out myself. last but not least is Fights in Tight Spaces, which is coming to PC. It had been in early access for a good while, so it's out of early access now. It's in its full release. Fights in Tight Spaces might look a little bit like Super Hot, and kinda, but it is actually a card-based strategy game where you kind of do your best to avoid getting hit by guns, and not by guns, bullets. I mean, you don't want to get hit by the gun either, but really the bullet is the more concern. And you kind of strategize to put yourself in the best position, do the most damage, and so on, and try to take as little damage as possible. But it's like a turn-based kind of card-dealing thing where you build up a deck. You know, you pick what particular fighting style you want. Do you want to be super flashy? Do you want to be a counter fighter? Do you want to be a grappler? Like that kind of thing, and your cards will change. How that goes. If you are familiar with something like John Wick Hex, which is, I believe it's by the same developer, I'm not sure, but that played similarly in that you got the whole John Wick thing where he's super hyper aware of his surroundings and can like be very efficient in how he tackles situations, and you got the kind of same thing here with the card-based turn-based thing where you can, you know, try out all your different stuff and then just replay the whole scene and see how much of a badass you are with it, I guess. That is currently PC only. I might check it out myself, but I may also just wait for a console release because there are a lot of games I still have to play and get through. Okay, those are the new releases for this week, and then we have a couple of updates. So Townscaper, you may have seen a couple of tweets of this game going around, and I say game kind of loosely because it's not really a game, because I don't think it has any actual goals or anything like that. So Townscaper has a demo that runs in your browser, so you can run it yourself. Just go to this article and click on the link, or just go to the link itself, whatever. I would give you the Townscaper main link itself, but it changes depending on what you do with it, because I have one running here, and I would very quickly just put through this together. But you just kind of build up a little town on the water and just make it do whatever you want, so you can like flesh it out a bit and, you know, give yourself a bit more space. And then build a building in the corner here, and maybe put another one on top of it, and maybe go to a different color, and then just delete this one for no reason. you can have stuff just show up in between, that kind of thing. It's just a kind of have a bit of fun with it, build stuff out. You don't have to follow any particular goal, and the game will like programmatically change. Not programmatically, that's not the, well, yeah, I mean, it is programmatic, but that's not what I meant. I meant like procedurally, like try to figure out what to do with this ridiculousness you've made, because quite now you can't actually get on my island. there's no way to get here. You can't land, so maybe we can build something to let you actually get on. Can you give me a ladder or a stair? Oh, there's a staircase here. I didn't see that. Okay, so there's a way to get on there, I guess. But what if I like maroon you all the way out here? Now what? How you gonna get out here? I don't know. It's just, this guy lives out here by himself, and there's no way for anybody to get to him. Let's build a bridge out to him. Okay, you can get there now. That's great. Anyway. That's Townscaper. You know what, I'll figure out how to get back to the starting point, and I'll drop that URL in with the paste bin, so you can check that out yourselves. And then announced, there were a couple of gaming events this week. So one of them is this game Aftermath, which is set in a post, or not, it's sort of like currently happening alien invasion, where you get, it seems you are blown out of a space station of some kind, and you come back to Earth, and there is a alien invasion / infection thing happening on the planet when you get there. So this opening thing is just you getting launched into the ground, back to Earth, setting up some stuff, and then gameplay happens or what appears to be gameplay. It may or may not be. This could be highly scripted, but it appears to be, at least. The environment looks really nice. The character model itself doesn't look great, and again, it's got the shaved head thing of why didn't they give the character hair? What's going on with your render script that you can't do hair properly? So that always hits me. Anytime I see a character with short hair, I mean, there could be legitimate reasons, but again, these are usually stylistic choices. or not stylistic choice. Sometimes these are technical things for why. Why wouldn't you? Because the game looks really nice, so why didn't you give the character hair? Anyway, the character model itself doesn't look great, but the rest of the game certainly looks interesting at least, and I think that's all we know about it right now. And Enigma Archives Rain Code. So the name and the title might suggest that this is a Japanese title because it's a weird one. This is from the same people who made the Danganronpa series, which was a murder mystery type thing, where you had to solve the murder mysteries or everybody dies, or everybody else dies except the murderer. It was a kind of weird game show murder mystery type thing. Anyway, this is from the same developers, same kind of art style, same kind of deal. Anytime you see these kind of pink splashes, you're meant to think blood rather than, I don't know, jelly, something. Anyway, again, not a whole lot known about the gameplay kind of thing, but we do know it's a sort of mystery thing. So it'll be somewhere along the lines of Danganronpa kind of thing. Like, I doubt it'll go the whole game show type deal, but it's, you know, same type, same general idea, I would think. Okay, so that was new releases. Oh no, sorry, that was updates for this week, and it's now time to talk about the worst part of our favorite thing, the video game industry. So Take-Two has been going around recently just throwing out trademark disputes all over the place from things that they really shouldn't be allowed to get away with. So, like, they really shouldn't be allowed to dispute the word Rockstar or Mafia or something else that they were trying to do. But the game It Takes Two has been caught up in this, like, barrage of trademark disputes that Take-Two have been going because it's a little too close to their own name, I guess. So Hazelight, the developers behind It Takes Two, were in the process of getting a trademark for the game itself until Mega Bucks giant publisher Take-Two said no. And since indie developer Hazelight are not really in a position to combat giant megacorp Take-Two, I mean, Hazelight are like, their games are published by EA, but I don't believe EA helps them with this kind of stuff. So they're a little on their own for these kind of things, and they just decided, okay, we're not going to try to fight Take-Two on this. So Take-Two does not have a trademark on its own name, but it is preventing other people from getting trademarks on things that might be close to their name. And it has been highlighted by Civilization. They're trying to prevent people from getting... No, Take-Two is currently contesting a host of other names linked to words like Rockstar, Mafia, and Civilization. Like the game Civilization. Anyway, I mean, these are dictionary words you can look up that have actual meanings. I don't think you should be able to trademark them, but okay. And then noted video game industry lawyer has kind of pointed out that what I've just said basically is that Take-Two are being extremely, very, very aggressive in terms of volume of trademarks and extensions and challenges it's making. It has filed at least 22 in the last 3 months, which is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so Take-Two being shitheads. Can't say I'm surprised, to be honest. Okay, so again, going on the game's preservation thing, it's getting worse, because it never gets better. Anyway, Titanfall is being pulled from stores permanently. Respawn is delisting the game that defined a decade's worth of first-person shooters. So yeah, that's not great. Titanfall would be a game that kind of pioneered verticality in like multiplayer games, like wall running, jumping, jetpacks, that kind of thing. Like that was their deal. That's what highlighted it for a lot of people, and that's why it has made its way into a lot of other first-person shooters since. Even Halo has a grappling hook now. Like this kind of thing. It's important to be able to go back and find where it started. Where is the inspiration for these kind of things? Like what began it? And you can do that for film, you can do it for TV, you can do it for music, books, and so on. You can go all the way back and find the very first sci-fi book. You know, you can find it. Where's the first mention of robot? You know, that kind of thing. You can go all the way back there the first time somebody used a dolly cam in film, you know, the very first film to do it. You can go back and watch it and see films before that and after that and see how it all like impacted. You can go all the way back to Michael Bay's first film where he did the weird spin around thing that's in almost every action film since. It's important to be able to go back and find it. And when games disappear from storefronts and are no longer accessible and so on, that hurts. That hurts the medium in general. Anyway, if you are so interested, the game will still be purchasable all the way up to March 1st, 2022, so the end of that quarter. So it's a corporate thing, basically. Not great. Some people have been pointing out that it is potentially highlighted to the fact that the game has been subjected to a lot of hacking recently. A lot of DDoS attacks, some security flaws exploited in the game. Some security flaws could actually impact the PC itself, which Respawn have disproved or disputed. It says disproved, but I think they just disputed it. Don't think they actually proved it didn't work. Anyway, Respawn has said the franchise is at the core of the studio's identity, except we're delisting it. Also, we're not working on Titanfall 3. Okay. Losing access to this classic is a major blow to anyone with even a passing interest in FPS history. So yeah, it's not great. This is a pretty big blow for game preservation in general. And I kind of wish they'd stop pulling shit like this. But there you go. Twitch launches new tool to safeguard chat from harassment. So Twitch has launched a new tool called Suspicious User Detection. So, as highlighted in this video series before, like hate raids and harassment on Twitch have been ongoing for a very long time. They're getting streamers banned because, you know, you can just type into your chat vile shit, and if you don't immediately delete it, you know, if you don't have mods that are on top of that kind of thing, you can jeopardize your own channel. So that's not great. And people subjected to that kind of thing have been saying, like, Twitch's own sign-up process is kind of the real problem here, because people can just make new accounts very quickly with little difficulty. There's little friction behind it. They don't have to verify themselves or anything like that. So that's kind of an issue. So Twitch have created this tool. When you ban someone from your channel, they should be banned from your community for good. Unfortunately, bad actors often choose to create new accounts, jump back into chat, and continue their abusive behavior. Suspicious user detection, powered by machine learning, which is a bunch of fucking if statements, but okay, is here to help you identify those users based on a number of account signals. So basically in your chat, if somebody who is a suspicious user types into chat, and whatever they type, it doesn't even have to be particularly vile or anything like that. They could say anything, and they can be flagged. So they'll get two flags. You'll have they're likely a ban evader, in which case only the streamer and any mods will see the message and nobody else will. Or you'll get a possible ban evader, in which case everybody will see it, but it will be flagged to streamers and moderators. So you have the opportunity and the visibility, because the flag will definitely stand out either way, to go, yes, this is a returning shithead, please continue banning them, or no, that's actually fine. They're a well-known member of my community, but if they're being shitheads elsewhere, I guess they might be getting flagged by this thing. I don't know. That's kind of the problem with machine learning, is that it's not perfect, and when you start applying content moderation, which is what this is, to scale, you're going to get a ton of false negatives, or false positives, and false negatives as well. But it's something. So, you know, it's welcome, and I think a lot of streamers, as you can see from like some of these tweet replies and such, are pretty happy with it, and hopefully it will be at least helpful. I don't think it's going to get rid of it entirely, because again, they're still able to post, or they're still able to chat. Like, it's not preventing them entirely from chatting, it's just sort of flagging it to you. And I guess on Twitch's back end as well, it'll be like, you know, don't ban the streamer entirely because of what this person says. You know, Twitch itself is aware that they could be suspicious. So, you know, it's a certain amount of mitigation. I don't think it's going to go away exactly. Like, not the only way to do it, but like the better implementation would be to require verification when you sign up with a new account. that's kind of the way to do it. But you obviously don't want to do that because it's too much friction for getting new people in. So this is their solution. Okay, last thing for industry bullshit. Indie Studio starts a petition asking Warner Brothers to let it make Mortal Kombat Trilogy 4K. The acclaimed Mortal Kombat creator Ed Boon supports the plan, but Warner Bros. Isn't convinced it'll sell. So there's a bit of a story to this. So this is from a studio called Eyeballistic, who have started a change.org petition to kind of highlight that, you know, people want this. It's like throw it at Warner Bros. And go, look at all the people who want to play this. So their pitch is to basically take Mortal Kombat Trilogy from 1996, which encapsulated the first 4 Mortal Kombats. This is kind of a way to put it. Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And just merged it all into one game. So it brought in all of the characters, all of the stages, all of the stuff. It was all of the 2D sprite rotoscoped Mortal Kombats, basically, just all stuck together. So like the original stuff that looks like it's actually people dressed up, rather than like 3D models and stuff that they went into. So their pitch is to basically take that and just like remaster the stages, the sprites, get everything running in 4K and so on. Which they actually have. Yeah, so here's the kind of wrinkle in it, in that Eyeballistic pitched they pitched a remake of the original Mortal Kombat in HD in 2016 to Ed Boon, and he was like, yes, absolutely, let's do that. Brought it to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers were like, maybe if you change this, this, and this, and this, we'll think about it. So they did change this, and this, and they came back to Warner Bros. Okay, how about now? They said, it's like, nah, fuck you. Thanks for putting in all that work, but also fuck you. So there is a pretty good video by Matt McMuscles. He did a what happened for Mortal Kombat HD, basically, which goes into much better detail than I will or want to in this video about kind of what happened and the behind the scenes stuff like that. But it's good to see that they're like, 1, no hard feelings, and 2, that like they're still trying to get this to happen, because it would be nice to have these not necessarily redone, but like available again, because early Mortal Kombat is very different to modern Mortal Kombat. Let's just put it that way. And it would be good to be able to again go back in time and in its timeline and see how it has evolved, see what inspirations it's taken from Street Fighter, Tekken, and you know, other competition in the market, basically. Okay, we'll finish up with a little bit of dumb stuff. So there is a website out, published, whatever way you want it, Review Reader, which will review Steam, or not review, it will read out loud Steam reviews, and it's pretty funny. Check it out. Again, I can play the audio for this, I suppose. Okay, stop audio. So, what game do we want to look at? What game do we know will have terrible reviews? The last Battlefield isn't getting great reviews, so let's try that. Battlefield 2042, that's it. Okay, read these out to me. Computer, read reviews. Worse is better. See, I can't hear it myself. That's probably not great. Anyway, technical fucking shenanigans for these kind of things. Anyway, that's that. It's pretty funny. You can get people to, you know, you can get them to read their Steam reviews and see how ridiculous they are. It's not quite as funny if you go for a game that's good and has good Steam reviews. But anyway, that was the news from November 29th to December 5th, 2021. Let me know what you thought. Again, Activision continuing to be shitheads, which is no surprise. Take-Two also continuing to be shitheads. Again, no surprise there. Some good few new releases this week, considering last week's Thanksgiving shenanigans and practically nothing came out. Nothing really that I was interested in at least came out. So some good stuff there, some interesting game announcements. And yet another blow to game preservation, which is unfortunately par for the course Anyway, let me know what you thought of this video, and check out any of the other stuff out on the channel. Alan Wake Let's Play currently ongoing. Games of June video is currently in latest, in the latest section for this, but it's not actually published yet, so it may or may not be out yet. It depends how much time I get to work on it today, and I'm kind of hoping to publish it today, and it'll be available on the channel at some point, hopefully by the time this video is published. So I don't know, check. Go look on the channel and see if it's up. If it's not, give me shit on Twitter. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.